With the full moon cello and Rock's feather in tow, we're now warped to the outside of Tail Cave. The owl explains a little bit about the instruments and gives us a little bit more lore as to our quest. He'll also tell us the location of the next dungeon, which is Goponga Swamp. First thing we're going to do is make our way back to Mabe Village, the starting village of the game. Our journey is made a bit quicker now with the Rock's Feather. You can jump over these pits that you had to walk around before. You get to the village and these two twins tells you about something really serious that's happened. It turns out that while you've been away, moblins have raided the village and they've stole away with that chomp, BowWow. Why they've done that is never really explained, but anyway, go into this house, talk to this lady. Apparently you find out that BowWow is actually a dog, even though it looks just like a ball and chain. Okay, first off, before we do that, we've got much more important business to attend to. We're going to find a secret seashell. Take out your shovel and dig in the bottom right-hand corner of this little room here to find the first of many secret seashells we're going to get in today's episode. Now, upwards into the mysterious forest, we're going to go find the Moblin's cave. Still can't get into that little cave, and honestly, there's no reason to yet anyway. Okay, now we have the Rock's Feather. We can get this piece of heart, which is nice. It's been teasing us for a little while now. And that should give you 3. So we're 1 away from getting another heart container, which would be cool. Right, so you can see the swamp there. We're going to go there in a bit. Before we go into this cave, though, we're going to start another little side quest. This is a Game Boy Color exclusive side quest. This mouse here is a budding photographer, and there are 12 snapshots to collect around the game. Like I said, this is just Game Boy Color, so if you're playing on the original Game Boy version, this isn't actually in the game. The first photo is really easy to get. You literally just talk to the mouse, stand on his rug thing, and then he'll take a photo of you and put it in this little album here. You can come back and look at this album at any time to see the photos that you've collected. We've only got 1 at the moment. If you happen to have one of the old printers as well, you can actually print those out. I never tried that. Apparently some of the printer paper is now toxic, so if you have original Game Boy printer paper, maybe try and get some third-party stuff. Alright, so into Moblin's cave. We'll kill this first guy. And kill these 4. The Moblin boss. Really simple boss to fight. He only has 1 attack pattern. He'll basically charge at you. Well, actually, he does have 2 attack patterns. He throws these arrows at you, which I somehow got hit by there. Let him charge into the wall. If he hits you when he's charging, obviously you take damage, but he'll ram into the wall, and that's when he's vulnerable from your sword attacks. So just keep doing this until he makes a really obnoxious loud groan like that, and then he's done. Get the fairy if you need some health up. And there's BowWow. He's pretty easy to find. So your instinct might be to go back to Mabe Village and return BowWow, but I implore you not to do that just yet, because, well, BowWow is actually a pretty strong guy himself. He can just eat enemies like that, so how he managed to get dognapped, I'll never know. He could have just eaten the guys, but as well as that, he's also instrumental in getting into the second dungeon. The second dungeon doesn't have a key. In fact, there are a handful of dungeons in this game that you don't actually need a key to get in. These flower things in the swamp here, you can't actually destroy these yet. You will be able to later, but by that point you never need to come here anyway. There's no way to pass them unless you have BowWow in tow, especially this big one in the middle here. BowWow will just eat them quite happily. He's not afraid of them. So you can go and get that little chest for some extra rupees there. Now this here is the second dungeon of the game. This is Bottle Grotto. Okay, you can't get to that chest yet, but that might give you a clue as to what the gimmick of this dungeon is. Maybe we're going to obtain something in our travels that allows us to lift stuff, maybe? Anyway, you light those torches there to open the door. You don't have to do that in most rooms with torches. There are quite a lot of dark rooms in this dungeon, but you don't actually have to light them all. It's only that one that you have to. So you go right, grab that key, which lets you open this door to the left here. For instance, this room, you don't actually have to light the torches. It just makes it a little easier to see. And similarly, lighting those torches there doesn't do anything. Okay, so jump over this thing, whack this guy into the ravine there, which will give you the stone beak. The optional, as always, stone beaks, but, you know. Another gimmick of this dungeon is these triggers here. That sort of circular blue orb in the center of the room there, if you hit that, it'll raise or lower the platforms with the corresponding color. Make sure you hit that one to lower the... I didn't mean to raise that again there, that was accidental. And that gives you another small key. Now with Rock's Feather in tow, you can get some extra powder if you need it. Go down and step on this switch here, which gives you another small key. Leave the switches as they are. Now these things will block any attack that hits them with their mask, so what you need to do is charge a shot like this, stand behind them so that they're facing away from you. They kind of mimic your movements. And that's how you kill them. Which causes a key to drop in the other room, which is kind of annoying, so you have to backtrack all the way around. I'll have to go down and whip this thing. We'll go right and get the key. Now, rather than progressing to the east of here, we're going to go back left. Okay, we're going to go hit the switch and then go back left. It's not such a big inconvenience in this dungeon, but later on in the game, if you miss a switch, you have to do a lot of backtracking. So there's another mimic here, just kill him in the same way, and then a chest drops down, which gives you the compass for this dungeon. Don't worry about those guys. Okay, now we're going to trigger the switch again, and also again, to get past. Now we're going to go to the east. Of course, if you're not bothered about getting the compass, don't worry about that last little step. You've killed these things before, just hit them with your shield and they'll flip over. It's simple enough. Right here, it should be pretty obvious what to do, but if you don't understand Zelda by now, you can put the beak in that bird and it'll tell you to push the blocks together. And with the Rock's Feather, you can jump these gaps. Don't worry about lighting this room, but well, allegedly it'll help you not get hit by that face thing, but it never helps me. This Cyclops-looking boss here is called Hinox. He's not particularly difficult. If you get too close to him, he'll pick you up and lob you at the wall like that, which causes a bit of damage. And he'll do a charge attack. The bombs, he's very inaccurate with the bombs. If you get hit by the bombs, then you're really doing something wrong. It's easy enough. Just keep your distance, and then swing shot at him, and he'll soon die. But this beak here, you do actually need to know about. Try and avoid that magnet thing to get the dungeon map, and then that's what it looks like. So that beak there tells you to kill 3 enemies in a later room in a very particular order. If you don't kill the enemies in that order, then the key won't drop, and you'll have to back out and do it again. For now, go left. These boos here, these ghosts, will disappear as soon as you light the torches in this room. And that gives us the power bracelet. At last you can pick up pots and stones. So get that equipped. Now if you hold the button you've chosen next to an object that you can pick up, it'll allow you to pick it up. You can use that as a weapon. Or you can occasionally uncover things. So now walk back to the start of the dungeon. Remember this chest here. If you want to do this, you don't have to. There you go, it's 50 rupees. Better than nothing, isn't it? Walk back to the Hinox room. Try not to get sucked into the magnet thing. Now we take the top path here. And there's a little switch that you need to activate. And then step on that middle one and activate it, which will give you another small key. I forgot to activate it again. But like I say, this dungeon doesn't punish you too much if you miss a switch. This guy's a pain. You have to sort of jump over there to knock him away, else you'll end up in the pit yourself. Right, we're coming up to that room that the stone beak revealed the method of. I've completely lost track of how many times I've hit the switch now, but there you go. So the Pole's voice is the one that you have to kill first, which is the kind of jumping rabbit thing. You're very tempted to like go for the bat there, or the you know, the zombie guy. I forget the name of them. So you kill the Pole's voice, then the keys there, and then you can kill that one. If you don't do it in that order, the chest won't spawn, and you'll have to go back out. So now we go right from here. These Pole's voice can't be killed with your sword, they'll just avoid it. But you can throw a pot at them. Later in the game there are other ways to kill them, but you don't really see that many of them in all honesty. There's not many in this game. Killing the second one will open the second sort of sideways passage. And here is one of the first times when the power bracelet comes into use. If you stand on that platform there, that grey platform, you're not heavy enough to lower it yourself, and you can't access the ladder. But if you hold a pot above your head, it gives you enough weight to lower the platform. Alright, we're coming up to the boss of the dungeon now, which is Genie. Genie's weakness, of course, is related to the item that you found in the dungeon. That's pretty much always the case with Zelda games. The idea here is that he can't be damaged when his bottle is still intact. So you just dodge his fireballs for a little bit. Once he's bouncing around, hit the bottle with your sword, he'll stop. And then you pick it up and lob him against the wall. I think you have to do this 3 or 4 times maybe. And his bottle will eventually just shatter. So if you sort of walk in this sort of pattern that I'm doing here, you can pretty much avoid getting hit every time. It's not particularly difficult. And eventually, the bottle will smash. Now from here, you don't need the power bracelet anymore, so it might be worthwhile, as I am doing here, to switch to the Rock's Feather. It just gives you a little bit more maneuverability. You don't have to do that. Now all you've got to do is just slash at him until he dies, essentially. The second part's a little bit easier. But yeah, quite an inventive boss, I always thought. I always enjoyed playing this one as a kid. It's always really satisfying when you work out one of these and then... And once he's dead, eventually, we will get another heart container. And also a full heal, which, as you can see, I'm nearly dead, so that's really useful. We'll get a full heal, and we'll get our second instrument, which is the conch horn. As usual, you'll get teleported outside with an eerie message coming from somebody telling you where you need to go next. The prairie is waiting. Notice we still have BowWow in tow. Is it time to go return him, do you think? If he eventually eats this flower, maybe we could. But he sometimes is a bit finicky and doesn't like to do what you ask. I guess you're not actually his owner. I think first we'll keep him with us for a little bit longer. He's quite useful. Now we have the power bracelet. There are a few other things that are open to us as well. It's not just boulders that you can lift. You can also lift these skulls, which will give us some rupees. Very nice. And there's some more rupees in this chest over here. Most of the time you use the power bracelet to lift those boulders. So we've kind of gone the long way around, but it was nice to get those rupees there. And do you remember this cave? Now, if we push the boulders out of the way, we can lift those two skulls and get this heart piece, which should be enough. If you've been following every step of the way, this should be enough to give you a full heart container. So, even though you've only done 2 dungeons, you're up to 6 heart containers already, which is very useful. At this point in the game, having 6 health instead of 5 makes a bigger difference than you'd imagine. But I think Madame Meow Meow's worried enough. Maybe we should take her pet back. Or maybe not. We'll just do a couple more little things first, hey. So you lift that little rock. There's a secret dungeon here. Now there's a well here. If you sprinkle some magic powder into this, you'll see this cave a few times in the game. If you sprinkle some magic powder into that, you'll awaken this demon who will... He thinks he's being a pain, but he actually does help you. Epilepsy warning, sorry, forgot about that. Now look at all that junk you have to carry. Basically, it just doubles the amount of magic powder you can carry. And there's a couple of other instances later that let you carry more bombs and also arrows and stuff like that. Okay, so from this screen, we're going to go to the right again. And we're going to go meet somebody called Crazy Tracy, who lives in that little house right there. If you remember me telling you last episode that there weren't any bottles that you could carry a fairy around with, this girl here kinda does a similar thing. If you visit her, she will basically rub this ointment on you or something, which will allow you once per life, essentially. When you lose all health, that will basically just refill them all for you. It doesn't happen automatically every time. If you get to a point where you actually have to use the replenishment, you'll then have to go back, visit Crazy Tracy again, and get more ointment rubbed on you. You might have seen this chest here. This has a secret seashell in it. Now that we have the power bracelet, we can actually get that. Okay, so now it's time to drop BowWow off back home. Such a nice boy. How can I ever repay you? Thanks, I guess? And now that BowWow's back on his post, you can take a little snapshot with him. If you're on the Game Boy Color version, that is. You get some nice little cute cutscenes. There's a lot of charm in these games. And very quickly, seeing as how we're here, we might as well get another snapshot. Just look in the right-hand window of this building here. And the mouse will come by, realizing that you're peeping Tom. Take a photo of you as evidence, I guess. I don't know. But there he is. If you're ever wondering who was the guy on the other end of those phones that you might have seen. Right, now with the power bracelet, we can leave through the east side of May Village, which opens up a lot of things. Go in this cave first. There's some rupees in this chest here. If you just watch out for the cracked blocks, you have to push them in a certain way that you don't fall down a hole. You'll be lifting that boulder up a hell of a lot in this game, so look forward to that. I always get hit by him. I don't know how to not get hit by him. We're going to go on a bit of a secret seashell hunt now. Windfish can wait. You hack that bush down and then dig where it was, you'll find another secret seashell. You're gonna have to jump over this gap. That was the witch's hut, if you remember. That there is a warp point. It's kind of useless at the moment. You need 2, obviously. I think there are 4 in total in the game, but you're not going to be able to use that until you've actually unlocked the other ones. Okay, we can bomb this wall here. Find another fairy cave, which will give you a full heal, if you need it. You can also bomb this massive pig skull thing. I think it's supposed to be a moblin skull, but it looks like a pig. And from this screen, you will see a lot. If you go north from here, we're actually going to sort of uncover a little bit as to why we're collecting these secret seashells anyway. This screen to the north here is the Secret Seashell Mansion, where you can redeem any seashells that you found. We should have enough to get the first prize already. If you've been following step by step, we should have 6 by this point, I think. Which gives you a gift of, well, another one. It's kind of a rubbish gift, but there you go. One screen east from there, if you hack away at the bushes here, the top right one, there's another secret seashell. Very nice. These sort of center screens can be a bit labyrinthine at times. It can be quite hard to keep your bearings at times, but just try and follow it step by step. Now this single rock here that you can lift, what do you know? There's another secret seashell. There's a very suspicious looking alcove there. If you can avoid getting hit by the crabs and stuff, just casually place a bomb here, because why wouldn't you? And there's a little secret passage here. You have to push that boulder into there so you can jump over it. Head round, and then we'll go outside the first door. If I can figure out which block to push. There we go. Okay, so this owl statue here. Around here, secrets are nigh. Just dig that little patch, and then you've got another secret seashell. Head back through this cave now. And go out the same exit. There is another exit to the bottom of there, but we don't want to go that way just yet. Go back north. From here, we head south for the first time, and then we'll go down the left-hand side of this. Jump over these islands. That's a very conspicuous looking place. Now, it just happens there's a rupee under there as well, but actually behind the rupee, you couldn't really see it. There was another seashell. We'll just follow these tracks around a bit more. Up to this crossroads screen again. We'll go north from there. Let's just go back and visit the Seashell Mansion again, see what our progress is like. Now, I promise the rewards in this mansion do get better, but for now, just have another secret seashell. Every time you collect one of those, it does tell you that something good is bound to happen, and I promise something good does happen, so just persist with it. It would have been nice to have some more bonuses along the way there, I suppose, but you just have to trust me for now. Right, this time we'll go down the right-hand side of this screen, because we're going to go meet a guy who you may or may not realize was actually in a previous Zelda-ish game. Hairu no tami ni kane wa naru. Now I say Zelda-ish because it wasn't strictly speaking a Zelda game. This guy is Richard, Prince Richard, and you notice there are a load of frogs around him. That's because the English translation of that game name is For the Frog the Bell Tolls, and it's loosely considered a prequel to Link's Awakening. The storyline from that game doesn't really influence this one too much, but I've always thought that it was kind of neat that a character kind of popped up in this one again. And so Richard offers to give you the key for the third dungeon, which we're going to need in the next episode, although he's not going to do it for free. He lives in this little shack with all of these frogs because he's been kicked out of the castle. Now, he doesn't seem too salty about the fact that he doesn't live in the castle anymore, he just wants his golden leaves back. And so, in exchange for the next dungeon key, he wants you to go and collect those 5 leaves for him. And frankly, I think that's a pretty good place to start next week's episode.